Hi there, this is Joshua Jokno for Xeno Creatives, and right now we are going to review DC's Batman Ninja by Takashi Okazaki and Kazumi Nakashima. So, to say that this is one of a kind would be an understatement because primarily, if we're going to look at the art, we're going to look at the direction, we're going to look at the animation. It is, for the want of better terms, really gorgeous and superb. And this does not come as a surprise from the creator of Afro Samurai, because the art style is definitely has gotten a great deal of attention in terms of detail and in terms of how the direction would want to encapsulate not only the time we're in, or the time frame or the history that the entire narrative is set, but also the distinct style of anime. So, as I've said before, this is probably one of the most superb and most gorgeous animations that I have seen. And not only that, the plot is actually really good, and the story had configured in quite an outstanding manner in terms of storytelling. So, what is Batman Ninja all about? Um, Batman Ninja follows the story of course, Batman or Bruce Wayne as he fights Gorilla Grodd in the opening sequence, wherein Gorilla Grodd wants to throw the entire Gotham City into shambles by getting full control of it. But the main plot here, or the main plan here by Gorilla Grodd, is actually kind of sketchy. In the If we fast forward into the narrative, we actually find out that Gorilla Grodd wanted to send all of the main Gotham villains, specifically Poison Ivy, Deathstroke, Penguin, to another far off location, primarily to displace them out of time. But that didn't go so well as planned because the time machine that he had built had malfunctioned due to Batman's intrusion, which had thrown all of the Bat family, including Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, and Red Robin, Batman, and even Catwoman and Alfred Pennyworth into feudal Japan, along with the other villains. So from that point on, it was a mishmash. Or it was kind of a chaotic situation for the Bat family. So when Bruce Wayne finally gets conscious into the other side of time, primarily in feudal Japan, he finds out that all of the members of his Bat family, Selina, Kyle, and Alfred included, had already been displaced there for 2 years. So that is quite a span of time for him to actually catch up with what happened. Surprisingly enough, Joker was already there, who had already established his own empire, or his own gang. We must note that this is a time of feudal Japan, wherein Japan was divided into different powers, which made it very easy for the Gotham villains to actually assume power and maintain their power there. So you can see them as feudal lords warring for different territories in Japan, which I think is a very good touch given the setting of this cartoon. But of course, we have Bruce Wayne, and if you're the Batman, of course, you're the Batman, meaning you'd be able to resolve all of the conflicts that these villains had established. But the way that the conflict unraveled and the conflict was resolved is actually a very good point. There's actually if not the piece de resistance of Kazumi Nakashima's writing. At first, we are made to think that Joker is the main villain, which he is, of course, in the end. But all of a sudden, we jump into Gorilla Grodd, who assumes power within the feudal lords by controlling all of their minds, and then it goes into the direction of seeing how the power struggle between Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Penguin, Deathstroke, even, which I think is one of the best interpretations of Deathstroke as I've seen in animation, and how they were able to go against each other and try to take control of the lands. And then we go back to Joker being the main villain, which actually stays true to comic book mythos, or to comic book mythology, wherein Batman and Joker is actually pitted against each other as an antithesis of sorts. Now, it's actually very comical and very serious at the same time. It is dark and it is gritty. It's very much DC in its finest without having to try so hard. Now, if you've seen, of course, if you've seen the DCEU, you would be made to assume that yeah, they're trying to push the envelope, trying to put too much grit into the movies. But here, it came so effortless. Primarily, it's probably because of the art, the character design. It's probably because of the plot. It's probably because of how the Japanese writers actually know the mythology between these two characters that have been established for a very long time. You have the Joker, who is, well, of course, insane, unhinged, and you have Batman, who is trying to ground this villain. And what would happen if they are set against a very volatile feudal backdrop, which is Japan. From then on, it goes off the racks. You have scenes, and I'm not gonna spoil it for those who haven't seen it. There are a lot of Sentai scenes. There are a lot of comical scenes, primarily from Robin, who is Damian Wayne. I like the sequence wherein the tone of the animation actually changed when Red Hood, who is Jason Todd, of course, confronted Joker and Harley Quinn, who had pretended that they have actually gotten amnesia from a previous explosion that had happened between the conflict of Grodd, Batman, and Joker. So there are a lot of good material there. It only shows that the writers know very well, despite the fact that this is a different setting altogether. Despite this is a different comic book universe, or this is an elseworld story, that they know the mythology all too well, and that they were able to sew things up effectively. And do I recommend that Batman Ninja be watched by hardcore Batman fans? Definitely. You know, it is one of the best. It is one of the best, if not the best, releases by DC Animation. Of course, we've seen in the past, within the year, we have Jack the Ripper storyline, and then we have this, and then we have other good animations such as Justice League Dark, Batman Year One, previous attempts, which are really equally good. I'm not so sure about the Killing Joke, which is actually kind of sketchier, kind of polarizing, but this one definitely redeems that. So do I recommend that the hardcore Batman fan watch it? By all means, do watch it. You know, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but definitely you'd have a lot of fun watching Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Batman in a different interpretation. There are tinges of mech in there. I would even go so far as they look like they came from animations of steampunk. But definitely, Batman Ninja is a treat. So if I were to grade it from a scale of 1 to 10, this would definitely be a 9 for me. And I really enjoyed it, and no doubt you'd enjoy it too. So again, this is Joshua Jokno, and I hope that review had helped you in deciding whether you would want to pursue watching Batman Ninja or not. And do stay tuned to our channel for more of these awesome reviews. So again, Joshua Jokno here, signing off.